Hello, welcome, namaste. This is Gentle Method. My name is Helgi Palko. This is my partner Borscht. And today we invite you to explore your pelvic floor and at that, give it some gentle love. Before we begin, I want to explain a couple of important things about the context of this practice, why we're doing it, and what exactly is it that we're going to be doing. But if you are with this practice not for the first time, there are going to be time codes so that you, in the future, you can jump straight to business. But if you're doing this practice for the first time, please stay with me because these things that I'm going to voice over right now are really important. So first and foremost, this practice is not a substitute for medical advice. Very often, when someone goes online to look for practices for pelvic floor, it means that there's some problem. It hurts or there's some kind of dysfunction, which means that you should consult a healthcare professional and not seek advice from impersonal into YouTube videos, even if it's my YouTube video. So please be responsible, be smart, and keep a healthy level of skepticism towards everything that you see out there on internet. That being said, I will also point out a couple of caveats and counterindications for specific practices, specific exercises, asana, so that you can decide for yourself, make the best, hopefully educated decision as to whether you need to do it or not. It's your body, please be gentle with it. On that note, off to the floor, pelvic floor at that. What do we talk about when we talk about pelvic floor? First of all, it's part of our core. We often think about core muscles as trunk, our abdominals, our back, and rightly so. But if you think about where trunk starts and where it ends, you will notice that, there it is. Hammock of muscles at the bottom of your pelvic bones that lies there and supports our internal organs, our reproductive system. And both girls and boys, meaning males and females, have pelvic floor. Pelvic floor has a couple of important openings out into the outer world, the urethra, the anus, and for those who have vaginal opening. And pelvic floor muscles are skeletal muscles, meaning this is the group of muscles that we have volitional control over, which is amazing because human society would definitely look differently if we humans did not have volitional control, say, over our anal sphincter. So thank you, evolution, nature, that we have it, and today we are going to exercise it. So today's practice consists of 3 parts. We're going to work with the pelvic floor muscles directly. We're going to try to exercise that volitional control and separate different portions of the pelvic floor. Please do not be distressed if you cannot separate it on the first try. It's completely normal, but with practice, everything gets better. And if you cannot separate the muscle, just direct your attention to that spot and everything will come as you practice consistently. So that's one thing. But as much, it is really important to really work with pelvic floor, say, in isolation, but we need to understand and remember that pelvic floor does not live on its own. It has context. So we're also going to be working with infrastructure that surrounds pelvic floor. And the most proximal neighbors are diaphragm and our hips. So if we go up the trunk, we have diaphragm, which comes from the Greek word separate or separation or barrier. And indeed, diaphragm separates our lungs and hearts from our intestines, our liver, and our reproductive organs. The way diaphragm works is this. When we inhale, diaphragm contracts and pushes down everything that is below, meaning our intestines, our bladder, our rectum, and that mechanically expands our pelvic floor. When we exhale and diaphragm bounces back, our thoracic and abdominal cavities shrink and our pelvic floor shrinks slightly as well. So diaphragm is probably the most overlooked trainer for our pelvic floor. And at that, when people say that we're going to be like doing diaphragmatic breathing, if you are not on a ventilator or doing some specific yogic pranayama, you are using your diaphragm. So all breathing is generally diaphragmatic breathing. The issue in hand becomes how much you're moving your diaphragm and how much you're able to use the range of motions to massage your pelvic floor. So that is going to be the second portion of the practice. And the third portion is going to have to do with the neighbors below, so to speak. So right above, right below our pelvic floor are our hips, as our legs are meant to move in all kinds of directions. Our hip muscles are, among other things, designed to stabilize our pelvis so that the pelvis and the trunk are not moving in the same range and the same crazy planes as our extremities. So when our hip muscles are underworking, for example, we lack hip mobility, it often happens that pelvic floor is left alone to stabilize the trunk, which is quite a lot to ask for something that should not work alone. So today we're going to work on those external and internal hip rotations to release pelvic floor to just breathe easily, so to speak. So that's in a nutshell the structure. So without further ado, let's get into practice. We're going to start with above, then get to below, and that finally we're going to get straight to working with the pelvic floor exercises directly. You might need a bowl. I'm using Jill Miller's gorgeous bowl from words core and gorgeous, and it is indeed gorgeous. You can use Pilates bowl if you have one, or if you don't have one, it's okay. You can roll a towel or just use a pillow, and anything would work. And you also can do those exercises without anything, without any props. So now let's prepare for our practice. Please sit comfortably. Take out the juicy, meaty parts of your booty out, so that you can feel that you're sitting on your bones. That will help you create this long spine without rounding. Now imagine that your crown is connected to the sky or to the ceiling, and close your eyes and just breathe. Now imagine, put a mental image of a diaphragm as something that helps you breathe. With your inhale, diaphragm gets down. With your exhale, your abdominal muscles help to push it up and squeeze out the air out of your lungs. Relax your face. Imagine that you have a light internal smile on your face that will help you relax the muscles of your face, your vocal diaphragm, which is the mirror opposite of your pelvic floor diaphragm. So when your face muscles relax, your pelvic floor muscles might follow. So this is a trick. Smiling makes your pelvic floor kind of smile too. Now you can open your eyes. We're going to start with the pranayama called Bhastrika. If you're pregnant, hypertensive, or if you're prone to panic disorders, please skip this exercise. For everyone else, we're gonna put one hand on your abdominal area. We're gonna do equal breaths in and out, pushing the air from the bottom of our belly. We're gonna start slowly and try to speed this process up. So let's go. Deep inhale, lower your chin in, down, hold your breath, lift your chin and exhale. Please do not be distressed if you cannot do it right away fast. Just do with the speed that is comfortable for you right now. Now we're gonna get on our backs. Lie down on your back, bend your knees and get your heels as close to your hips as possible. We're gonna press our fingers into our belly. And on inhale, we're gonna try to squeeze them out, deliberately bulging our belly out. And with exhale, we're gonna press the fingers inside and help our abdominal muscles to squeeze out the air and push the diaphragm up. And inhale, exhale, both through the nose. When you exhale, please lift your hips above the floor ever so slightly, a couple of inches. Lower them down. Inhale, push the fingers up. Exhale, push the fingers down. Lift your hips. Lower your hips. Inhale, push the fingers. And then push down the belly. Exhale, lift up the hips. Inhale. Needless to say that this is best done on an empty stomach. Exhale. Lift your hips. Press in the belly as much as possible. Lower your hips. Breathe in. Press your fingers out. And then press them in. And lift your hips. One more time with feeling. Inhale, press the fingers out. And then press the fingers in. And lift your hips. Lower your hips down. And now we're gonna do Bhastrika again. The same breath movement that we did. Inhales and exhales are the same length. So we're gonna be slightly hyperventilating. I'm repeating, if you're prone to panic disorders, please skip this or be very careful. Pregnant people, skip it altogether. Inhale, hold your breath. Exhale. You don't need to keep your hand on your belly, but it's sometimes nice to have it there so that you can feel the movement of your abdomen. Now let's flip and get on all fours. Our hands are strictly below our shoulders, as well as our knees are below our pelvis. And mentally separate your trunk in half. So everything that is above your diaphragm is going to be still, not moving at all, and everything below the diaphragm is going to be doing circles. Sorry, not everything, just the pelvis. We're going to do 9 circles clockwise and 9 circles counterclockwise. Try not to do this kind of waving. So everything above the diaphragm is still. We're going to start with clockwise, drawing big, gorgeous, juicy circles with your pelvis. Pretty slow. 1, 2, don't forget to breathe. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, smile, 9. Finish the circle, don't leave it halfway there, and then counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Try not to squeeze your glutes. 7, 8, and last one with feeling, 9. The full circle. And get back to neutral. We're going to lower our hips to child's pose and let them rest for a little bit. During the whole class, during this practice, try to think about this relationship between your diaphragm and your pelvic floor. How when you breathe in, if you breathe in deeply, you are able to get the diaphragm to massage your pelvic floor. And when you breathe out fully, when you squeeze out your diaphragm up with your abdominal muscles, you are able to get yourself a better inhale on the next cycle. Going back to all fours. Now we're going to be doing the funny walk with our hips. We're going to be trying to connect our iliac crest, the pelvic bone that is high here, the closest one towards the low, towards our ribs. We're going to try to connect the two on one side and then on the other side. Moving. Getting that abdominal space to stretch on one side and then on the other side. Breathing through your nose. Here the upper portion of the trunk is also moving because we're helping the ribs and the pelvic bones to meet. Get back to neutral. Then we're going to lift our right hand up, and we're gonna thread the needle, lowering the shoulder on the floor, lowering our head on the floor. And here you can stay here, or you can straighten your left arm, or you can get it behind your back so that it touches your right inner thigh. And just rest here for 5 breaths. You can close your eyes. Remember about the smile. When your face is smiling, your pelvic floor is also catching up with that relaxation. Slowly and gently get the left arm up, lower it down, and pressing yourself with your hand, not with your back. Get up back on all fours. Now left arm goes high up, and then we thread the needle on the left side. Right hand either stays where it is or walks forward towards Borshi, or hugs our back and gets to hug the inner left thigh. 5 breaths. In this position, you can feel how diaphragm is really pushing out the pelvic floor on the inhale. Slowly return the right hand first up, then put it on the floor, and without disturbing the muscles of your back, try to push yourself up from the floor with your hand and get back to all fours and lower yourself into the child's pose for a little reset. Going back to all fours, we're going to start with the left hip. So we're going to be drawing circles. Circles with our knees, but the attention is going to be towards our heels. So we're going to start with the hydrant position. Probably you're familiar with that. But in this hydrant position, try to lift your knee as high as possible and lower your heel as low as possible. Now we're going to be drawing the circle with our knee and trying to internally rotate the hip in a way that allows the heel to get down. The knee again goes up, the heel goes down. And we're going to repeat that a couple more times. Always the knee goes up, the heel goes down. When we do the external version of rotation, again, different plane, but the same principle. The knee goes up, the heel goes down. We're working with those hip rotators. Couple more times. Heel down, knee up. Heel down, knee up. One more time. And lower your knee. Same thing on the right side. We're going to start with the hydrant and find that logic of this movement, trying to lift our knee as high as possible and trying to get our heel as low as possible. And now we're going to draw the circle with our knee, trying to get the knee as high as possible in the internal rotation and our heel as low as possible. And we're going to keep switching between the external rotation and internal rotation. Heel down, knee up. Externally, the same thing. heel down, knee up. Couple more times. Heel down, knee up. One more time. Heel down, knee up. And once again, heel down, knee up. Put the heels down. Now let's get the knees a little bit further away from each other and lower our hips down and up. Down and up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. You can get your knees as wide as you possibly can, but please make this progress gentle. Do not overdo it. Then let's stay down. Now in this position, we're gonna need our ball. I like to put the ball between the heels so that I can sit on it, but you can also get the knees to meet in crisscross applesauce as you wish, as is comfortable for you. Just find your position. We're getting to those pelvic floor muscles as announced that we're going to be working precisely. So we have 3 gestures, 3 different muscles that we're going to be trying to activate separately. The first one is going to be the muscle around your urethra. It's the muscle that that is responsible for erections in males, and it's that muscle that controls the stream of your urine. So when you're peeing and if you're stopping the flow, you're doing it with that muscle that we're going to be trying to get activated right now. In yoga, in Hatha yoga, this is called Vajroli for men, sahajoli mudra. Mudra is a gesture or a seal, so we're going to be putting a seal, so to speak. We're going to do only 3 times. We're going to try to squeeze against the bowl or a pillow, or if you are sitting on a towel, we're going to try to squeeze that muscle, isolate it from other muscles, hold it, not too tight, slightly, and then release it and let it go. If you're familiar with Kegel exercises, I looked it up, it's not Kegel, it's Kegel exercises. It's basically the same thing. So we're going to start with Vajroli, sahajoli. Inhale, squeeze. Release. Squeeze. Release. Squeeze. Release. 2 more times, but we're going to add the chin lock. We're going to hold our breath with lowering our chin down into our throat. So coordinating the vocal diaphragm contraction with the urethra, the muscles around the urethra. Just 2 times. Inhale, squeeze. Hold. Release. When we lower our chin, we hold our breath. When we get the chin up, we exhale. 1 more time. Squeeze. Lower your chin. Inhale. Hold. Release. Chin goes up. Exhale. Now we're getting closer. We're going back. We're going to be working with the muscle that is strictly in the center, in the perineum. For males, it's that spot right between the scrotum and anus. For females, it's the back wall of the cervix. So you can actually even touch that spot with your finger. You don't need to do it now. Right now, try to isolate it. And remember, we're working with skeletal muscles. We have volitional control over them. So try to find that muscle and keep the others released, especially your glute muscles. Only the middle position, perineum, the gesture is called mula bandha, the root lock. We're going to be locking our root. We're going to be locking it, lowering our head on the inhale, holding, and exhaling 5 times. Inhale. Release, exhale. Inhale, hold. Release, exhale. Inhale, hold. Exhale, release. One last time. Inhale, hold. Exhale, release. And one final gesture is called ashwini mudra. We're gonna squeeze the anus, the muscles of our anal sphincter, hold it and release. The mudra owes its name to a spectacular view of how horses do it, so to speak. Ashwini is horse. So we're going to be squeezing the anal sphincter and then releasing it. The same gesture with the vocal diaphragm. Inhale, squeeze, hold, release. Inhale, squeeze, hold. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze, hold. Exhale, release. And one more time. Inhale, squeeze and hold. And then release. And then you can gently roll the pelvic floor around the bowl where it feels nice. You can switch the position of your legs. You can do the same rolling with a smaller ball that is usually tougher. The general rule there is avoid the holes, obviously, and be gentle. Sometimes it's a good idea to do the rolling with the tougher ball on a softer surface, like on a couch, for example, that can mitigate, that can kind of swallow half of the pressure. And then we're going to slowly get down. Think you're to our bowl or our pillow. No, Boshi, that's not your bowl. I'm sorry, baby. We're gonna get our heels closer to our pelvis. Connect them together. And we're gonna fly. The dynamic butterfly. We're gonna spend some time here. So do not expect that to end soon. That being said, find a nice dignified posture. Make sure that your back is long, your neck is long, the range of motion is graceful and quite substantial. Think of yourself as big Mahan from Madagascar, not like a tiny, super small fly. You are really flying with big, big wings. Remember about smiling, Face is smiling, pelvic floor is catching up with the relaxation. That's the rule. So tensed face tends to be mirrored with tensed pelvic floor. The easiest way to relax your face is to smile it. And flying, flying. We're almost there. But the landing has not been announced yet, so please do not stop. Enjoy the flight. You can let your wings fly faster. You can let yourself increase the range of motion. The shoulders are back. The chest is up. The face is smiling. Couple more seconds. Almost there. And when we land, it's going to happen very soon. We're going to do 3 gestures, trying to squeeze all the muscles that we can possibly find in our pelvic floor, very gently, not too harshly. And then we're going to lower our chin, hold the breath, squeeze our knees into the floor. With exhale, we release everything. 3 times. Inhale, squeeze your pelvic floor, squeeze your knees into the floor, lower your chin towards your chest. Hold your breath. Release. 2 more times. Squeeze, gentle squeeze. Release. And 1 more time. Squeeze. And release. And please lie down on the floor in Shavasana. Your hands are along your trunk. Your eyes are closed. Settle down and almost in a snap, release everything. Allow yourself to just drop any tension, any expectation, any thoughts. Just release and let go of everything. You don't have to do absolutely anything. Your body knows how to breathe. Your heart knows how to deliver fresh blood to all the organs of your system. Your immune system knows how to fight anything that should not be inside your body. So you really, really can relax and let the process of your body happen on its own. Now pay close attention to your breath. Notice how every inhale pushes out your belly and expands your pelvic floor. Every exhale makes you almost shrink a little bit, makes your body slightly smaller. So every inhale, you grow. Every exhale, you become smaller. And this endless oscillation never stops. All that there is to do is to marvel at this process. So I invite you to marvel. You can slowly start to move your body. Invite small, subtle movements of your fingers and toes. Let your eyes roll from left to right, up and down. And you can slowly open your eyes, roll onto one side, and very slowly and lazily, with very graceful laziness, you can roll onto one side and head into your day. Please let me know how you feel, how this practice was received by your body. I appreciate and read all the comments. If you have any questions, suggestions, please let me know. At that, I want to remind you that you are in this world in the sample of one. So please be gentle with this sample. Namaste.